So I didn't want to make 10,000 million videos every time we got a Ben Simmons update / non-update, because it's all pretty much been the same since the beginning of the season, even before training camp. But we have somewhat of a significant development. I don't know how significant it is, but it's definitely something of note, because one of the teams that have been connected with the Philadelphia 76ers in this rumor sphere that has been going on since the summer, the Portland Trailblazers, have kind of had some developments of their own. And it started with firing President of Basketball Operations Neil Olshey last Friday, and then it leads to this report from The Athletic by Shams Charania and Sam Amick, who are two of the best insiders that are plugged in to the NBA. They basically outlined a whole collaborative report on what happened in the Olshey firing, but really what was the most important thing in that report was that Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons. And it wasn't some convoluted messaging like Damian Lillard has definitely thought about playing with Ben Simmons. It was multiple sources told The Athletic's Shams Charania and Sam Amick that Lillard would like to play with Ben Simmons. Now, it is obviously significant for a lot of reasons because, like I said, both of these teams have been connected with each other well back over the summer. It's no secret that the Sixers are waiting for Damian Lillard to grow discontent and ask out. And, of course, Lillard denied the rumors today, or basically said that people like drama or something like that. And look, if Blazers fans, Damian Lillard fans, if they want to blame the big bad media for conjuring up drama, I really don't know what to tell you at this point. Every well-connected reporter in the NBA has been reporting the same things, coming to the same conclusions with the whole Lillard situation going back to the summer. And whenever there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been a fire for fucking months. The Blazers organization has been in disarray, really ever since Olshey decided to throw Terry Stotts under the bus after last year's dismal playoff exit. For some reason, Olshey thought that the Blazers' problems were coaching related and not roster related, and the fact that they have a bunch of fucking guards and a center who really isn't the same as what he used to be, and Robert Covington is their best perimeter defender. It's been the same damn team for 4 or 5 years, and they had one Western Conference Finals appearance and a bunch of first-round exits. I really don't know what Olshey expected, and Olshey got let go last Friday because of an investigation into a toxic work environment within the organization, and they fired him on Friday. Now we have this report coming out today, really the big tidbit in the report, because the report at large was more about what went into the Olshey firing, what are Lillard's next potential steps after that, etc., etc. But really the focused part of that report is that Lillard wants to play with Simmons. There's tension between the players and head coach Chauncey Billups, who just continues to light into his team after these really embarrassing losses. I saw the Spurs game, I saw the Celtics game, and the Blazers lost to the Clippers again tonight. Billups lit into his team after the Celtics game, calling out the starters. He said he hasn't seen anything like starters needing to be inspired by bench players. Quote, "That shit is crazy to me." He's called out Robert Covington and his defense, and the fact that we all know Robert Covington is a really great team defender, a off-ball disruptor, but as an on-ball defender, he's average. And now that he's older, his foot speed is slower than what it was before. When Robert Covington is your best perimeter defender on your roster, your defense is in trouble. Now, this is significant, obviously, for the Sixers side because, once again, it is proving Daryl Morey's point, and people who have been fine with Daryl Morey, waiting this out. One, there's no better GM to handle this type of situation than Daryl Morey. But two, we all knew the steps that were heading towards this point going back to the summer. I don't know why people keep insisting that Simmons' value keeps dropping by the day. It's been the same since the Hawks series ended. We all knew he was going to ask for a trade. We all knew that he was going to ask for a trade when his teammates and Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey came to Simmons' house in LA back in August. We all knew Simmons was not going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers again back then. It rang true when he showed up to practice with the alleged cell phone in his pocket, although it was proven that it wasn't a cell phone, it was just a rolled up practice jersey in his pocket. And he showed up to try to get the money back that the Sixers were holding in escrow, and now he's doing this whole very touchy subject of claiming that he has mental health issues, and now he is sitting out basically, and he's been sitting out. Now he's still not playing. So really, the steps that have led up to this point, to this present day, none of this should be a surprise. And Daryl Morey has rightfully waited. One, because teams' expectations are all rosy and peachy in the preseason and training camp, but there's no way every team is going to be happy. There's no way every GM is going to be happy and content with their roster. Once your expectations are not being met, teams get desperate. The December 15th deadline when new contracts can be traded has not happened yet, and we're already seeing a fire in Portland. So Daryl Morey, this is exactly what he wanted. Now, I don't know if he's still willing to do a CJ McCollum type of trade. Now, it was reported in that Shams Charania and Sam Amick report that while Olshey was still the president of basketball operations, he and the Sixers, they discussed a trade centered around CJ McCollum and Ben Simmons, and possibly offering a pick and one of the young players like Nasir Little or Anthony Simons, who is having a breakout year. And then the Sixers asked for CJ McCollum and multiple first-round picks and multiple pick swaps, and obviously the Blazers declined. So it seems like the Sixers are willing to at least negotiate in a potential CJ McCollum trade, but I'm sure Daryl Morey wants to hold out for something else, because really CJ McCollum just is going to be the same problem that Portland is experiencing right now, because the Sixers have Seth Curry and Tyrese Maxey, also small guards, and also Seth Curry's providing the production of a CJ McCollum at basically 1/4, not even, less than that of the cost. CJ McCollum's going to be making like $34 million in the last year of his deal. And look, I think CJ McCollum's underrated, and I think he's been underrated by a lot of Sixers fans who don't really watch a lot of Blazers games. But CJ McCollum is a good player. I just don't know if he would fit in a potential roster with this team. But this is exactly what Daryl Morey has been waiting for. There's going to be some more discontent teams. Now we'll see with the Blazers now with this new interim GM, but change is needed in Portland, man. And like with the Pacers, I'm tired of watching the same team over and over again. I still think Ben Simmons is a good player. He's not a franchise player or a tier 1 or tier 2, but we know he's one of the best defenders in the NBA, one of the best passers, one of the best finishers if you get him going in the short roll. And what better player to accentuate those skill sets than Damian Lillard? Because with Lillard's otherworldly shooting, and I know Lillard's been struggling this year and he's been injured, that would definitely help Simmons. And look, the Blazers have stunk this year. They still have the same defensive problems, even with this new defensive scheme, where it's kind of like what Jason Kidd was doing in Milwaukee, where they just ran this really aggressive attack on the pick and roll, but you can't sustain that over a season. Players get fucking tired. And the Blazers' defense is still putrid. Players are now mad at Chauncey Billups. Damian Lillard is having some of the worst shooting nights of his career. He's putting up some of the worst shooting production of his career this season, and he's been dealing with an abdominal injury that has been going back to the summer. Just what's next for Portland? And it seems like Damian Lillard wants to play with Ben Simmons. And I don't know if Ben Simmons will ultimately go to Portland, but this is just the beginning, I feel. We're still about 8 days away from the December 15th date, which is when new contracts can be traded. And there are a bunch of teams that still haven't met expectations, like the Sacramento Kings. The Indiana Pacers need to desperately fucking do something. This is why GMs wait to make trades when they think it's advantageous for them, no matter how much the internet screams at them about how this is detrimental to the team or whatever. Yeah, it might suck for the players, I imagine, but the GM's job is to do what's best for the organization, and this is what Daryl Morey sees as the best path. And so far, with these recent developments and the possible developments to come, he might be right.